another pro bout. And it's another big-time personality. Cole Ferrell, undefeated at 5-0 from Atlanta, taking on Joe Pegg, coming down from Cincinnati, 6-5. Catchweight bout at 140. Pro MMA, brought to you by TriStreams. Back to the cage, and our cage announcer, our entire night here at Valor Fights 51 in Johnson City at D3 Elite Sports. Of course, the home of Adam Primetime Townsend, Caleb Frank, and a number of other fighters. Here's Shamir.
It is also a catchweight in a 140-pound division. This fight is brought to you by TriStreams TV. It is 3 5-minute rounds. Out of the red corner, introducing first, Joe Pegg.
Joe Pegg, 6-5 out of G-Force in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Bubby, you may know, but where it is, there's some pretty good competition in the state of Ohio for Pegg. What do you think about Pegg, the opponent for Ferrell?
Yeah, it is. There's actually some very stellar competition in the Ohio area. Not to mention the wrestling pedigree that comes from that area, but he definitely presents himself as a danger to Cole Ferrell. He's an experienced fighter. He's he's 11-fight veteran coming into the game. He's been fighting since around, I want to say, 2008, 2009, I believe I saw his name pop up in the database.
2008 as an amateur, right?
Yeah, 2008 as an amateur. So he's been around and he's fought some tough names, and he's fought on a larger promotion. And in his early professional career, he went on a tear. And so now here he is coming off, his 2-year layoff. Let's see how he performs tonight.
Yeah, Pegg has been in the cage, and Bobby mentioned this earlier. Back in 2013, fought and went toe-to-toe for a good portion of the fight with Sergio Pettis from the UFC, and one of the top challengers to Mighty Mouse in the UFC, and he was really showing well in that Sergio Pettis fight. And Pegg has had a ton of experience against good competition. Lost his last 3. Back to Shamir.
Now introducing his opponent, out of the blue corner, Cole Ferrell.
Cole Ferrell, 5-0 from X3 in Atlanta, Georgia. His trash talking is vicious. His fight skills are even more dangerous. He backs up his talk, Bubby Man.
Absolutely, he does. He's got a plethora amount of confidence. I mean, if you look at one of the main attributes that Cole brings to the table, he's confident in his ability to perform, and he gets out and he does perform. He's undefeated. He's got a lot of momentum right now, and he's comfortable everywhere. We've seen him striking. We've seen him grappling. So he's comfortable everywhere. And if you ask him, Pegg is no different than anybody else he's fought. He's another number.
Take a look at the tail of the tape. Cole Ferrell and Joe Pegg. Ferrell with the advantage, undefeated with a record, while Pegg is 6-5. Ferrell still a young guy, 9 years younger than Pegg. Ferrell 1 inch taller, and then both on the money at 140 for this catchweight bout at 140. Cole Ferrell and Joe Pegg. What else stands out about these two in this matchup? Hang on to that thought, Bubby, as Ferrell struts in the cage, as confident as you would think. Back to Shamir.
All right, introducing first, out of the red corner, this professional mixed martial artist fighting out of G-Force in Cincinnati, Ohio. He weighed in at 140.6 pounds. He holds a record of 6 wins with 5 losses. Joe Pegg! Standing across the cage from him in the blue corner, his opponent fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, representing X3. He weighed in at 140.5 pounds. He holds an undefeated record of 5 wins with 0 losses. Cole Ferrell! Your referee for this bout is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee in this 10th bout of the night, our catchweight bout at 140, presented by TriStreams Professional MMA. Joe Pegg in the black and red trunks. Cole Ferrell, we'll call him the multicolor trunks. Ferrell, confident doing it his way, the younger fighter. 3 5-minute rounds pro MMA, and Ferrell's on the attack.
Immediately in, closing the gap, lifting up Pegg, big slam from Ferrell. Immediately lands in side control, looking to advance that position, put a little bit of pressure on Pegg. Coming out of the gate hard, Vince.
Airport mode with the flight of Pegg to the mat.
He definitely should get some points for them Sky Miles. Big oompa off of Pegg, doesn't shake Ferrell. Ferrell's settling heavy in top side control. Short peppered punches on Ferrell on the top, trying to get his head loosened up. Pegg's holding his head so Ferrell can't really open up and really unleash on him. Pegg is not uneducated enough. He's holding his head just to keep the gap closed, but he can be Von Flue choke from here. If Ferrell cinches his hands up and drops that shoulder on him, Pegg will go to sleep right here. Here he goes. He's cinching it up. Let's see if he can put the pressure on Pegg. Look at Pegg. Pegg's wincing. He's putting that pressure heavy on the Von Flue choke, Vince. Is tap out already off the Von Flue choke.
I was just about to say that all of Ferrell's finishes have been quick. The longest Ferrell's gone in a fight is 2:38. He's had 3 fights in less than a minute, and that was in the minute-ish range as well.
I mean, immediately, as I'm calling it, Pegg's holding the head, and I say, hey, surely he can't be uneducated enough. He's an 11-fight veteran. Yeah. Most people hold there so you can't create a lot of space to rain down ground and pound. Hey, he caught it. He timed it. He wouldn't let Pegg get his arm out. Cinched up that Von Flue choke, dropped the shoulder on him, secures the win right here. See right here, Pegg is trying to defend his neck. He's doing correct right here, and then he pulls the arm out. There's the shoulder drop. He's wincing in pain right here, going out. He's gasping at this point, and Ferrell's doing everything correct to cinch it up.
And a beautiful finish for Cole Ferrell, and Bubby Mitchell's going to talk to Ferrell. And boy, you want to hear a promo. You're going to hear it from Ferrell in just a moment as he fixes his hair, barely with a sweat, strutting and enjoying his work. All right, let's make it official here, Shamir.
All right, let's make this official. Your referee called this fight at 58 seconds into the first round by Von St. Preux choke, Cole Ferrell! All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Cole Ferrell. Moving on to 6-0 over a game. Joe Pegg, 6-5, handing him another loss. Coming off a layoff. How do you feel?
I feel better than great. Great is the understatement. First, I give the glory to God. I always do. Shout out to my opponent. You know, I had a few people saying, Cole, you should be a little bit more humble. So I figured with that being said, I would say that I am the best, the most savage. And if anybody wants it, I'm gonna let them have it. But hold right there. Beg me, please. There's one thing you need to know. These hands ain't cheap.
All right, so right here with Cole coming off this right here, locked up, tight Von Flue choke, beautiful takedown off the beginning of the fight. What's next for you, man? What do you want?
I want to keep racking up W's, keep getting money, and keep giving my glory to God. When the big show calls, they call. But until then, I'm going to keep whooping ass and getting cash, baby. Hey, and huge shout out to my sponsors, Bubba Garcia's on St. Simon's Island and Carroll Custom Homes on St. Simon's, baby. Glory to God. Shout out to all my people who came. We doing big, big things.
Cole Ferrell, your ladies and gentlemen, moving on to 6-0 as a young professional fighter.